Tina lost everything in one day. Her tailoring shop was crushed by a government bulldozer. Her home was taken when her landlord threw her out, and her name became a joke on the streets of Enugu. But when the whole world turned its back on her, only one person showed her kindness. A man everyone called mad. He slept in an abandoned building. People laughed at him. Children threw stones at him. And when Tina later chose to stay near him, the city mocked her to... But what if the madness was only a disguise? What if the man she eventually married carried a secret powerful enough to shake the entire city? Stay until the end, because what happened after Tina chose, that man would silence mockers and rewrite destinies in a way no one saw coming. The day everything fell apart, Tina was a quiet tailor who lived in a tiny one-room apartment on the outskirts of Enugu. She wasn't rich, but she was hardworking. Every morning before sunrise, she walked to her small shop, Tina Fashion House. Inside were two old sewing machines, a cracked mirror, and carefully folded fabrics. It wasn't much, but it was everything she had built after losing her parents. One morning, while sewing a yellow gown, she heard engines outside. 2 government trucks and a bulldozer had arrived. Illegal structures, one officer said coldly. Before Tina could even plead properly, the bulldozer smashed through her shop. Wood splintered, fabric flew into the air, her sewing machines crashed to the ground. Within minutes, everything she owned was gone. People stood around recording with their phones. Some even laughed. Tina fell to her knees in the dust. And that's when she noticed him. A barefoot man with tangled hair and worn clothes. The same man people in the neighborhood called the madman. He quietly walked over, reached into his pocket, and placed 5,000 naira into her dusty hand. "Go and eat," he said softly. Tina stared at him in shock. No one else had helped her. Only the man everyone called mad. Then he walked away. When life hit, even harder 2 days later, Tina still had no shop and no work. She begged other tailors to let her use their machines. Most refused. Then her landlord gave her another blow because she hadn't paid rent for 2 months. He ordered her to pack her things immediately. That same evening, Tina walked out of her compound carrying a small bag with all her belongings. With nowhere to go, she ended up sleeping under a bridge. Hunger and shame became her daily companions. Then one rainy night, while she shivered under the bridge, she heard a familiar voice. "Tina." She looked up. It was the madman. He brought her bread, groundnuts, and milk. "Why are you helping me?" she asked. He replied quietly, "Because when I saw you in the dust that day, something in me moved." Then he said something unexpected. "You can't stay here. Come with me." Tina hesitated, but the bridge was colder than his offer. So she followed him. The strange life they built the place he took her was an unfinished building at the edge of town. No windows, no doors, just bare concrete. But it was shelter. At first Tina was afraid. She barely slept the first night, yet the man never crossed the space between them. He treated her with quiet respect. Days turned into weeks. Slowly, Tina realized something strange. This madman spoke intelligently. He asked thoughtful questions. He talked about books, travel, and business ideas. One evening, he confessed part of his story. "I was married once," he said. "I loved my wife deeply. When she betrayed me, something inside me broke. The humiliation destroyed him. So he disappeared from society. People thought he was mad, but he had simply hidden from the world." Tina listened without judgment, and for the first time in years, the broken man began healing. She washed his clothes, trimmed his beard, encouraged him to stand tall again. Eventually, they fell in love. The city mocked them. People called them the tailor and the madman, but Tina stayed. Because when the world erased her, he had seen her. The day the truth came out, one morning, everything changed. The man woke up early, looking unusually serious. "Tina," he said gently, "today I need you to trust me completely." They walked toward the road. Suddenly Tina noticed something strange. Black luxury vehicles were parked nearby. Men in suits stood waiting. As the man approached, one of them bowed. "Good morning, sir." Then all of them bowed. Tina froze. Her mind couldn't process what she was seeing. The man turned to her calmly. "My name," he said, "is Mika Kingsley Okori. I am not mad, and I am not homeless." He paused. "I own companies in Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt." Tina stared at him in disbelief. He continued quietly. "After my marriage collapsed, I disappeared. I needed to know if anyone could love me without my name, my money, or my power. Tina collapsed to the ground in tears. So all this time, you knew, she cried. I was hiding, he said softly, and you saved me without knowing who I was. A life no one expected that same day, Tina saw his real world. Massive gates opened, luxury cars filled the driveway, a huge mansion stood before her. The same man people mocked in the streets was actually a billionaire in disguise. But what moved him most was not her beauty. It was the fact that she loved him when he was nothing. Soon, the news spread across Enugu. The madman was a billionaire, and the poor tailor he married was the woman who loved him before anyone knew the truth. The city was stunned. People who once laughed at Tina now begged to attend their wedding. Even her former landlord tried to apologize, but Tina never forgot where she came from. The wedding that silenced the city, their wedding became one of the biggest events Enugu had ever seen. Crowds gathered just to see the woman who had chosen the madman. When Tina stepped out in a simple white gown, people whispered in amazement. She wasn't proud. She wasn't arrogant. She was calm. When the vows came, Mecca's voice trembled. You loved me when my name was a joke, he said. When my clothes repelled respect. Then Tina spoke. I loved you when loving you cost me dignity, she said softly, and I will never forget where we came from. When they were pronounced husband and wife, the city erupted in cheers, but deep down many people felt something else. Shame, because they had mocked kindness and worshipped appearances. The lesson the city learned at Tina once slept under a bridge. Mecca once wandered the streets as a madman, but together they proved something powerful. Sometimes madness is just pain wearing a disguise. Sometimes wealth hides behind silence. And sometimes the person everyone laughs at is actually gold covered in dust. Tina never forgot the girl who lost her shop, and Mecca never forgot the woman who loved him when the world thought he was nothing. Because true character is revealed not by what people have, but by how we treat them when they have nothing to offer.